Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. This is part 2 of my spooky decks, and these are the oracles, although we're going to start with the tarot that I forgot to mention, so I got them mixed up. I mentioned a soul deck, oracle deck in my tarot video, and I'm going to mention a tarot deck in my oracle video in place of, because they should have been the other way around. Anyway, enough said. So the other tarot deck that didn't get its mention is this one, which is beautifully made. It's this one I got as a print run for the 2020 edition, first edition, and it is the Black Line Tarot by Agni Prassada Burning, and you can get that on her Etsy website. I believe it's still available, so you can get that one. It comes in this little box, and that's the lid. The decks are reversible. The cardstock is beautiful. This is fantastic cardstock. It's slightly glossy. It's durable. It feels like playing cards. It's, you know, really good stuff. And it was the closest I could get to the skeleton tarot that Simon at Hermits Cave talks about in his top 5 decks video for the spooky season. And although it's not full of skeletons, it has lots of skeleton sort of references in here, and you know, just nice simple artwork basically. But this deck is gorgeous, and you can follow this chap throughout as well if you do get this deck. There's a walkthrough on my channel, but yeah, it's just a really nice deck. There are skeletons in it basically. So it fills my itch for the little kitschy skeleton tarot that I couldn't get. But it's a gorgeous deck, and the cardstock, as I say, is just wonderful. It's some of the best indie cardstock that I've got or have the privilege of owning. So if you don't have this, go check out her Etsy shop, and hopefully you'll be able to still get yourself one. But it's well worth it. It's a really nice deck, and as I say, good cardstock. So, slightly ambiguous one. I've got the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Why? Because it works with the moons. Basically, it's a moon phase deck. These are the backs, big oracle size. Not all the pictures of what you would class as your particular dark decks, but you can see you've got your moons, your moon phases, names of the moons. There you go: harvest moon, waxing gibbous, waning gibbous. And for this reason, and this reason only really, is why it's here, because we have the blood moon coming up in October, and it's one that many mystical people like to work with. The energies are different. We're told that the thinning of the veil is there, and that's why it's classed as a time to leave offerings for ancestors, why many people around the world have ancestor altars, and you know, it's easier to communicate with spirits, hence the reason Halloween, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and all the other names that come with it. So that's one that you might not have been expecting. I also have the Dark Mirror Oracle. This is a weird deck, look, it's banana bent already, if you can see that, and I really don't use this. I don't know, I hardly use this because I'm not sure, maybe I've already worked through the issues in these cards, or I'm that arrogant that I don't think these issues pertain to me. But this one does also work with moon phases. So you have your different moon phases, you have your keywords, and you have your kind of numerological elements to it. And it is for your shadow. This is to work with your shadow self. So this is to go deep into your psyche. And as I say, many of the things it's kind of delved into, I think I've probably already worked through, so they just didn't touch deep. They hit quite shallow on me, but it is good. The book does give you pause for thought, and some of these images are quite thought-provoking. So interesting. Card 13 is Blinded to Pain. But yeah, so that's the Dark Mirror Oracle. It's smaller than the Moon Goddess Oracle. Then we have, where should I go? This one. The Shadows, Oracle of Shadows and Light by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. These are the backs. These are really glossy. They are big oracle cards. I do like this deck. It was the first one that I got. Tried it, put it away in my cupboard because I thought, what a rubbish deck. Then pulled it back out when I understood it a bit more, and really like the messages in this. So I find this one actually is spot on for opening tarot readings, to give the energy of what's coming out in a tarot reading. In fact, some of the readings I did, I pulled one of these first, and what they hinted at, I discarded because the reading didn't feel like it quite went with it, and carried on and read the reading. And then when I circled back, it turned out that what was in the oracle card was correct. So one time it hinted at loss of a family member, and yeah, it did it quite well. So you might have been expecting me to pull out Les Vampires for this, but because I've worked with Les Vampires throughout the year continuously, I thought I'd pull this one out, because I found it was probably this time last year that I got the most deep messagings from it for myself. So that's why it's back out for this year. So that's that one. We have the Halloween Oracle by Stacey Demarco. These are the backs, nice and kitschy. And the images aren't quite so kitschy. So the images, so we have skulls and skeletons in here. It is the Oracle, as we've said. The book has some really good insights and meanings to go with it. I just, some of the references, like there's your graveyard with unnecessary fear, your zombie control, your werewolf exploring your wildnesses, basically, invisibility, authenticity. So yeah, I mean, obviously with all the jack-o'-lanterns, the witches, the graveyards, you couldn't not pull it out for this time of year, could you? But some of these messages, like the cauldron with the synergy, the flowers on the skulls, they do go all year round, to be fair. It really is just colours and the images that to me make me feel a bit more Halloween-esque this time of year. It's more geared to the month of October personally, but it's a really nice oracle. It's not many cards in this one. I can't remember how many there are. I'm just gonna have a guess at 35 or something. Looks about that. But yeah, so that is a favourite with many people, the Stacey Demarco. Of course, we're going to pull out the Seasons of the Witch Samhain edition. I had this last year, worked with it, really liked it, liked the messages. I only worked with it, I think, until December, and then I put it away because I felt like it was more geared to those October, November, and less for Yule. So I do have the Yule deck for Yule this year. Red backs, nice candy red gilding, and then the cards. So lots of dark, shadowy aspects to these. Lots of working, so your banshees, your ancestors, working the veil, behind the veil, preparing for the season ahead. Your kind of familiars, things about candle magic. There's a couple of pages on candle magic actually in the book. You've got your graveyards, rituals, reflections. Again, this time of year, as we've already said, shadow work and things. So this time of year in this part of the hemisphere, that's what it's all geared towards, is working on yourself as we move into the dark part of the year. You've got your divination, again, your thinning veil for, I think it's around 15th of October that starts to thin, and it runs for about 30 days, and it's the thinnest around the 30th of October, and then goes through to about the 14th of November, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so this is a really nice deck. Many people tried to get hold of it last year and couldn't, so I do recommend it if you like this sort of thing. If you're not a witchy person, then you probably aren't going to appreciate the artwork on this. I love Halloween and I love the whole decor and aesthetic of it. So this is, you know, right up my street, as I say. But yeah, so there we go. The Seasons of the Witch, Samhain. I'm sure you were expecting a Deviant Moon Patrick Valenza deck. So we have the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle Deluxe Edition. This is not the mini, this is the hand version, hand size. Here's our backs. And this is just, you know, very simple cards. I love the aesthetic, I love the colouring on these. There is a Seance edition, but I prefer this colourway. But yeah, so the idea is you read these a bit like a Lenormand if you want, and you just use them for clarifying as well, and you're encouraged to develop your own language for these. So it doesn't come with a guidebook. There is a downloadable from the website. If you've purchased off the website, then you can go in and download the paper that comes with this and print it off yourselves. But as I say, you are encouraged to make your own. Simon at Hermits Cave has purchased a little, it's not little, it's quite a large, like handmade leather-bound journal with what looks like handmade pages in it, very oldie-worldy pages, and he's dedicated a page per card to this deck, and he will add to it and create his own study book, a little white book. Can't really call it a little white book because it's not little, it's a big deck. And yeah, he plans on doing that with it. So there's our Millie. And we have Mildred's grown-up version as well here. So this is the Oracle of Black Enchantment. This is more like a lino cutout or block print. Is that what other people say? Block print style deck. This is one that I use and have mentioned a few times. I use for drawing as a muse. I love the pictures. I haven't really worked with it for divination purposes per se. I've pulled a couple messages from here, but I've not used it regularly just yet. So I plan on working more with this. So as you see, it's just a really fun deck. It's quite large, as with the Deviant Moon stuff. Nothing comes as standard. So yeah, just needs some working, but just great line drawings, quirky pictures, really quirky designs, some poignant stuff in here as well. And that is my other oracle that I plan to use. Whether I'll use this for, again, serious messages or just to inspire myself, I'm not sure. I haven't decided for this season. I will see where it takes me, what my intuition does, and I will just let those moments flow. So I'm just trying to get back to the start here while I'm whittering on at you all. So what we've got, so it's a 52 card deck. And that one's there because it was the next one out for some inspiration for drawing, basically. That's why it's on the top. It's something that I wanted to draw. And did I show the backs? I think I did. So those are my spooky season oracle decks. What are you using in the way of oracle and tarot? Please do let me know. And if you want to see what my other tarot decks are, check out my video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.